proceed.
Okay, so we have to be quiet. She can talk. Okay.
No, we don't have to be quiet.
She's the
All right.
guest.
Doom Scroll is started.
You'll want to start by drawing
And I'll see you
some
guys on the
extra
other
white
side.
teeth, which I
So,
used to believe was an
Billy Power
optical
Max in the
illusion
house.
because
What's
of
up,
their
Billy?
darker skin.
Okay,
Until I got a black ski
I
mask and
disavow
my teeth were
that
still
what
yellow.
Christy chose
Next,
for
we'll draw
Doom
his
Scroll.
outfit
This
and
is
make sure to
racist,
have
and
fun with
I
this
disavow
part
it.
as they take pride in their appearance. I'm going with a nice suit that says he's either getting some salmon at the Red
Because
Lobster or
Christy's
competing
not
on
quite right
Family
in the
Feud.
head.
And for his lady, I'm going with a fancy church hat, a beautiful sight to behold, unless of course you're sitting behind her. But if you are sitting close by, make sure you ask her for a purse candy that will be sure to have you saying, I didn't know they still
My
made
grandmother
these. I like to add some fun
always had
details
purse
like
candy
a
and
bottle
purse
of
gum.
lotion, because you can't
And she
have
would give
perfect
you a
teeth
piece of
and
gum
moist skin.
that
That's
fit in
not
her
fair.
purse
And for a finishing touch,
since
I'm
Noah
adding a
got
low
off the
battery
ark.
smoke detector,
And it would
which
taste
they
like
will
spearmint
ignore like
and
it's a
cheap
potluck
perfume.
casserole from
And
the
you would
white
cry
lady
when
that
you
lets her
chewed.
cats on the counter.
But you would still chew it.
Behave
When it was
yourself, or
over,
Grandma
we
will
got a
give
phone
you some
call that there
gum.
was going to be a rough cut of the film. You want to come see it? You know, I hadn't had great luck with movies up to that point, and I sure loved this part, and I loved this film, and I figured, you know, what'll be wrong with this one? And we're watching the movie, and somewhere at some point I just started weeping. I lost it. And my wife grabs my hand, and she's holding it, trying to get me not to make noise and humiliate myself and embarrass myself for God knows what reason Mandy's crying for now. And I composed myself, and then the screening was over. It was right near the end, just as it was over, I think, and I composed myself. And she looked at me confused, and she said, I remember this, she said, "What's the matter? What's wrong?" And I said to her, I never dreamed I would get to be in a movie like this. I never have since. And I guess you're lucky in this life if you even get close to something like this. I couldn't understand.
Oh, quit your weeping.
And he was in Alien
Here's how
Nation.
the melody and one mysterious chord
Inigo
in Fake
Montoya
Plastic
does not
Trees by
weep.
Radiohead perfectly illustrates the story of the song. Hi, I'm
What is
Dave.
this
I have a
loss?
doctorate in music, and I also write and draw comics and graphic novels. My life is kind of weird. Let's dive into Fake Plastic Trees. The story starts on a happy major chord and a lyric about a green plastic watering can. If we focus on the melody, it has this really lovely leap up on fake plastic, and then on like the tick part of plastic and earth, it leaps back down an octave. Tick earth. A leap back down to earth. Remember that. When we look at the harmony in this section, the second chord is this mysterious, ambiguous chord. It's a chord that comes up again and again in Radiohead's music. For
Music
all of my
is like
chord
a
nerds
joke.
out there,
You have to
E major
explain
ninth
it.
chord
It's
with
not
F sharp in the
good.
bass. For those of you who aren't huge nerds, it's a chord that sounds happy
I don't
and
think we
sad
should let
at the
Christy
same
pick
time. Is it
solo
major? Is it
three.
minor? We can't
No.
tell.
Yeah,
We might call it
I'm
bittersweet,
gonna
and we might
submit
call it
for
confused,
Doom
and it
Scroll
happens on a line
privileges.
about a fake Chinese rubber plant. We get a confused chord on a lyric about an
you're
artificial
picking Doom
representation
Scroll
of
material,
reality.
could you make
Remember
sure
that
that
too.
it's
We're introduced
funny?
to the first
That'd be
character in the
great.
song, the woman
Or
who
at least
bought the watering
entertaining.
can and the fake plant to plant in the fake earth. And she's worn out. There's a chorus that tells us it wears her out. At the end of this wears her out section, the melody walks
is gonna
up
drive
and ends
people
in an
away,
open
Doc.
place. It wears her
Well, I
out.
mean,
That's how
not-
this
not
character
any more
deals with
so
being
than
worn
my
out.
face.
She does what needs to be done and just keeps on going. The second verse introduces the second character, the
You
older
should
man
just
that
put
she
your
lives
you
with.
should just put your
This guy
face
used to
up.
be a plastic
Like, have
surgeon.
it
He did
oscillate
that
back
mysterious
and
chord
forth
again
across the
on the
screen.
lyric.
Like Mike
An
Headroom.
polystyrene man.
Go
An
Max Headroom.
artificial representation of reality
Little
again.
bit of
And
that,
again, we
yeah.
get that confused chord on the
Maybe
lyric about him
get
being a
some
surgeon,
corrugated
making a
plastic
plastic
sheets
version of
that
reality.
oscillate
Regarding the
behind you to
surgeries, we get that
simulate
octave leap in the
that
melody
zigzag
again.
pattern that used to be behind him. Like that guy who did the
What goes up
Max
must come
Headroom
down, just
signal
like this
intrusion.
melody. This dude's worn out too, but instead of
The only
leaving the
problem
door
is
open
that,
gently like the woman did, he
Plastic
forces it to
Trees is
stay
one of the
open as the
greatest
song
songs
gets
ever
loud.
made.
He's unaccepting even though he can't stop
I'm
what's
calling,
next.
I'm
The
gonna
next
call you out
phrase,
on that,
the
Billy.
next verse, the
I'm gonna
loud
call out
verse.
that
This
you've
one's
never
sung in the
even
first
heard that
person,
song
introducing
before.
our third character, the narrator who's been making these wry observations the whole time. There's that ambiguous, confused chord again. She looks like the real thing, she tastes like the real thing. Again representing unreality, the artificial. After all, you'd never assert that she tastes like the real thing if she was actually real, if she wasn't artificial. The melody climbs and falls again on fake plastic love. Of course, it's a failed love tumbling back to earth. When it climbs again, the narrator says, I could blow through the ceiling if I just turn and run. For a second, it seems like he's gonna make it, floating on air, but the melody, of course, falls back down. He doesn't make it through the ceiling. The narrator's worn out too, and he ends the "Wears Me Out" melody with a simple walk down the scale and properly finishes the phrase, "Wears me out." The door's closed. What does it mean? Well, the narrator...
Hey, how's it going? My name's Badger, and what do you mean they're not real? They got real hands? Come on, let me close. They need to pet me. Everyone needs to pet me.
Bubba,
Come
they're
on.
literally fake skeletons.
Just okay.
Billy Paul
all right,
Max said
let's
Radio
admit,
Land,
maybe
okay,
they're not
computer,
real, but
greatest
I'm
album of the
really
late 90s,
excited to see them.
with Never
You know what I
Mind
mean?
about Nirvana
Oh, come
being
on.
the best of the
Just one
early 90s.
chance.
I'm going to disagree with you, Billy. Queensryche's
If
Empire.
you were ever
was the
wondering
best
if somebody
album
is
of the early
bullshitting
90s.
you, a simple heuristic that you can use is to count the number of Germanic versus Latin words that they are using. I stumbled upon a Twitter thread talking about this over a year ago, and I've not been able to stop thinking about it since. I had to understand the history. You see, English is an interesting case because it is a Germanic language, but over the last 1,000 years or so, it has absorbed so many Latin-derived words that they now account for over 60% of the total vocabulary. Germanic words, by contrast, make up only 25% of the total vocabulary, but they account for
Graphic
over
doesn't
80% of the words that we use in day-to-day life. Germanic words are going to be ones like hello, horse, water, house, tree. Meanwhile, Latin-derived words are like reconciliation, veracity, cognizance, manipulation. So where did these Latin words come from?
Latin
Well,
was
in the
the
5th
language
century
of the
AD, when the
educated.
Anglo-Saxons came over from Denmark and northern Germany into the British Isles, they spoke a Western German dialect known
can't
as
get over
Old
how much
English. It
effort
was, of
this
course, a fully formed
to
language
must
similar to the other Germanic dialects that were spoken in the area. English continued to evolve throughout the British Isles until 1066, when William the Conqueror, a Norman French, invaded England and brought with him his Norman French language, a Latin-derived language. For centuries after that, the French-speaking aristocracy ruled over the English-speaking commoners. The upper class spoke French and Latin, while the commoners
This
and
guy looks
peasants
like the
spoke
six-fingered
English.
man
Over time,
from-
the English language as a whole absorbed these Latin-derived words, but only the ones that served the upper class. Words regarding bureaucracy, philosophy, law, rhetoric, high culture. But the peasant class already had every single word that they needed for everyday life. Fast forward to the Renaissance, and scholars all over Europe are now rediscovering classical texts in philosophy and science that are all written in Latin and Greek. And they started speaking in Latin and Greek terminology to sound more sophisticated, more learned. Fast forward to today, and it is still very much the same case in the English language. We can pretty much get away with using only Germanic words. It isn't until we want to sprinkle in a little philosophical jargon, maybe sound more clever or persuasive or impressive, that we switch to Latin. Almost anything that you want to say with Latin words can be said with Germanic ones, and if you can't, you're probably full of shit. Take the Latin-derived word misinformation, for example. You could easily just use the words lie or wrong, which are both Germanic-derived. But the word misinformation carries with it a sense of sophistication and superiority that those who enjoy using this word relish in. The word itself, however, is horse shit, which are both Germanic words, by the way. But what I find most fascinating is the fact that outside of bureaucracy or philosophy, nearly every single word in scientific or medical terminology is derived from Latin or Greek. But maybe that's just a coincidence. I'm kidding. Obviously, we can't just dismiss all of philosophy, science, or medicine because their language is Latinate. But it is a really great heuristic for spotting bullshit in your everyday conversations. Good luck trying to pull one over on anyone using purely Germanic words.
Doom scroll my ass. Lord, Lord, Lord. Little wallet draining crap factory.
Some teacher's looking at it going, he's going to be in my class, isn't he?
Oh, that was AI, but funny.
I'm so sorry, honey.
Every single time.
I work with retards.
That one was funny.
Isn't that a little politically incorrect?
Oh, the hell with that. No one's going to tell me who I can and can't work with.
Folks were told to stay off roadways unless absolutely, positively necessary.
I want a donut.
Sometimes you wanna go
where everybody knows your name.
I'm glad to see you got a sense of humor. So do I.
Oh, my darling, not 3 times on the ceiling if you want me.
I'm gonna get a cappuccino soon. I'm gonna strangle somebody.
Welcome, everyone, to Doc's Coffee Shop. I am your host, Doc Blaylock, writer, artist, painter, sculptor, musician, and all-around good guy. Hope everyone is doing well today. Pardon me, let me hit my cough button. Pardon me while I barf up a lung. So I hope everyone had a great Veterans Day yesterday. It's the biggest holiday of the year. I don't know if you guys know that. It's bigger than Christmas, bigger than Thanksgiving, bigger than Halloween. No, not really. It's the one day of the week when even assholes have to say thank you for your service. And those of us that served go, yeah, I'm not really comfortable with being thanked for doing my job, but okay. It's a weird thing that actually happens. So we've got a big show today. Lots of memes for you. We've got the great Katie Shaw with us here to talk about Dragon Child. She's a returning guest and a friend of the show. We love her here because she's an awesome creator and an awesome person. And I will go ahead and for her disavow all of meme review. She has nothing to do with it. These are not her sentiments. I mean, they're not really necessarily mine. I just think stuff's funny. And of course, he gets up and walks away when I'm about to bring him on stage. Hey, Christy, go ahead and bring Darin up while he's not in his chair. Oh, too late.
There we go.
All right, Darin.
No, yeah, I forgot my back scratcher. All right.
All right,
hello, Doc. Happy Veterans Day. You know, you and I come from that generation where people didn't thank you for your service. So whenever somebody does that, it's like
it's a little cringy. It's a little cringy.
What do you want?
Yeah. I don't have any money. Get away from me. I'm not going to donate to your cause, whatever it is. It was weird. We were talking yesterday. Darin served, I guess we call it not a generation, but a cohort group behind my cohort group. He was Clinton Navy. I was Reagan Navy. And my Navy was the 600 ship Navy. And then Bill Clinton came along and did more damage to the U.S. Navy, sank more ships than all the enemies we ever fought combined. Thank you, Bill Clinton. Took us down to the 300 ship Navy, which is woefully inadequate. And now we're trying to build back up. But poor Darin, they put him on an antique clunker of a submarine and said, here, go sail on this. Hope you don't die.
Oh, yeah. It is a volunteer segment of the service. So you have to volunteer to get there. You have to want to be there. But you can't unvolunteer yourself once you're in. That's the thing.
The hell you can.
Well, yeah, but there's that. In order to invoke that black magic, you have to hurt yourself in some way.
I've told this story before. We were talking about it yesterday. I got invited while I was in the Navy to dine with a friend on the USS Bremerton. Hello, Katie.
Good morning.
Welcome. So I went aboard the submarine. And mind you, when a submarine is tied up at the pier, only a little bit of it is sticking up above the water. So I go down the hatch, the ladder to go down, and we go to the mess hall, the galley. And I don't remember what I ate. I don't remember the conversation. All I remember is thinking, I got to get out of here. I had the worst claustrophobic attack of my life.
Mine was smaller than that.
Yeah, your sub was even smaller.
Los Angeles class submarines were 360 feet long. Mine was 292 feet long.
Yeah. And I'm here to tell you, inches matter. Tank
Yeah.
Ferret, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome. So, in return, though, I didn't tell this part yesterday. That same guy, while they had a long stay for whatever reason in Charleston. I was stationed just down the road at Parris Island, South Carolina, training recruits. And he wanted to come see what I did. And I said, well, all right, come on down tonight. There's a course that takes place out at the Field Training Unit, which is an old abandoned runway that's now an overgrown jungle. And I said, we're doing night lights. That's night pyrotechnics, illumination, and night maneuvers. And I said, it's really fascinating. You'll enjoy it. You'll have a good time. So he comes down and we're getting ready to go out in the field. And I said, well, dude, you can't go out there. He was wearing dungarees, the kind of denim blue sailor outfit. I said, you can't go out there like that. So I loaned him some of my camis. I said, it's dark. No one will see the name. Don't worry about that part. But I didn't have a spare set of combat boots for him. So he's just wearing his boondockers. Fortunately, no one noticed, but he came out and we had a great time. He got to experience all of that. And we both agreed that neither of us wanted the other's job ever. You can keep the submarine. He said, you can keep that swamp and them gators and those sand fleas. So, yeah. Katie, welcome. How are you?
Doing good. I was just going to say, my grandfather was in the Navy as an officer, and I wish that he told stories. He came out of it with bladder cancer, and that was the most prevalent thing that he would tell us.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, no, he was very much I'm glad that I did chemo and radiation, and everybody who didn't is dead. So, he was one of them.
Well, I'm glad he survived.
No, he absolutely did. He made it to 87 before he passed. So he did well.
Well, thank you, Katie Shaw's granddad, for being a shipmate. That's what we call each other. It's a horrible sounding term. And if anyone ever addresses you by that, by the way, if you're on active duty and a chief says, hey, shipmate, let me talk to you, you're in trouble. You have done something wrong and you're about to get chewed out. So you never wanted to hear that phrase. Hey, shipmate, let me talk to you for just a minute. Oh, no. What have I done?
Yeah, in the subservice, when I went through basic training, or after basic training for subs, BES, Basic Enlisted Submarine School, they said we don't use that term on submarines. But then every time somebody would go to some sort of leadership course, like our Cobb would leave for a week to go to a leadership course and come back, he started calling everybody shipmate, and we're just like,
yep,
you know.
That was as a corpsman, it was a thing that corpsmen said to enlisted sailors. Now, I have to differentiate. I very rarely interacted with other Navy. I was always with the Marines, but I would see this. It was very common. It was the corpsman would say, "There's no such thing as a sick day in my Navy, shipmate. You just go on to work and try not to injure yourself any further." But dude, his arm is hanging on just by a little strip of skin. Just walk it off. You'll be all right. Ibuprofen.
Like, for example, when my Cobb came back from training, he said, because we had this, when we go to a foreign port, we'd have your regular topside watch, but we'd also have the drunk watch. That's what it was always called. It's even said that in the billet.
Yeah.
And the Cobb's like, we should change that to shipmate watch. and the captain's like, well, Cobb, we're not going to do that. That's, first of all, that sounds gay, and second of all, that's too many syllables. We already have a perfectly good word that describes the watch with one syllable. We're not going to change it to a two-word syllable to coddle somebody's feelings. And okay, sir.
Drunk watch, by the way, was when the sailors would come back to the vessel intoxicated. You would help them get up the ladderway and get down to their berthing. And if they puke on the quarterdeck, you got to make them clean it up. Blah blah blah. Hey,
well, I mean,
go ahead, Darin. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say that when the boat pulled into Puerto Rico. Of course, one thing that everybody had to do was take a tour of the Bacardi rum factory, and they have free samples throughout the whole thing. You don't have to. All you do is pay for the tour, and all these free drinks come with it. And those guys would come back, and your job was basically it was two things. If they passed out on the pier, you had to like lift them up out of the puddle of their own puke, so that so they weren't blowing bubbles in it. And then the other thing was, if they happened to not be able to negotiate the brow and get on board, and they fall in the drink, you had to throw them a donut. So, and
Fun
that happened a couple
times.
of times. Yes.
So when you say thank you for your service, ladies and gentlemen, that's what you're thanking us for. There you go. Katie Shaw is, correct me, Katie, if I'm wrong, but you are both the writer and artist.
Yes, I am.
Of a series of wonderful comic books / ongoing long graphic novel called Dragon Child.
That is correct.
And we currently have one funding, and we're going to take a look at that here in a little bit if my producer is paying attention. But before we do that, Katie, tell people about yourself. How did you get started doing this?
Well, if you can peek behind my pile of dragons there, I can put it up a little bit. I have many, many memorabilia for various comics and whatnot, but the standout for me is always the fact that the comic that got me into comics was Jeff Smith's Bone.
Oh, yes.
And I want to say I was in 3rd grade, and it was an Oktoberfest where we were all playing a bunch of games, and my prize that I chose for myself was issue 6 of Bone. No idea what I was getting myself into. And because it's issue 6, obviously, not a lot of backstory to go on there. But I was like, I don't know what this is, but I know that I like it. And so then became the obsession of trying to find more. And at the time, we were living in Green Bay, Wisconsin, which, despite having a football team, is a small town that has access to nothing. And so we had to go like an hour and a half out just to find a comic shop. And so that was the, little 3rd grade me was like, I need more of this. I need more of this. And then, I'm oldest of 3 girls. And so my mother made the mistake of giving each of us one of 3 volumes that were out at the time.
Right.
And so each one was, belonged to that particular person. And I happened to end up with number 1, and then so on and so forth for my sisters. But, while they enjoyed the comic perfectly well, I was the one that was like, okay, this is life-changing here, and this is what I want to do. Because prior to that, I knew I liked to draw. I knew I loved to read all sorts of fun stories, come up with my own stuff. But the idea of the different types of media that I'd run into prior to that, most of the comics that I'd read were stuff like Peanuts or Calvin and Hobbes, and I had no interest in that. I was a huge fan as well of Bill Peet, which was one of the character designers and storyboard artists for Disney for a lot of years before Walt passed. And so like 101 Dalmatians is his fingerprints all over it, Sword in the Stone, all that jazz. And he did a bunch of children's books that I also completely was obsessed with, but I didn't like the idea of being stuck doing rhyming schemes for the rest of my life.
Right.
When I found Bone, I was like, okay, this is a long form story, but through the form of a comic, and it doesn't have to be funny, but it can at times if it's appropriate. And it's not talking down to kids.
Right.
And so for me, that was something where, it just sparked that light bulb, and I'm like, I don't know what story I'm telling, but I'm doing something.
Hey, before we dive into the story, I want to bounce off a couple of things you said.
Yeah.
You said Watterson held no interest for you. We all know that Calvin and Hobbes is the greatest comic strip of all time, so I'm rebuking you for that. Whoosh! But no, I wanted to ask you, when your sisters got those other issues of Bone, how long did it take you to negotiate, wheedle, or intimidate them out of those?
Oh, instantly. I was the oldest. Yeah, no, it was more of a, if I allow you to read my book first, because that makes sense,
right,
you will treat it with the utmost respect. And if it comes back damaged, we're going to have words. So yeah.
My parents. I had a younger brother who's 2 years younger than I am, and I never understood what they were saying until later in life. But after Christmas morning, the big gluttony of wrapping paper flying everywhere, my dad would always go, "And now the negotiations begin," because I would start bargaining with my brother right away to get of his what I wanted and give him stuff I didn't want. And my brother was just, he was 2 years younger, so he was stupid. And I would always get the really cool toys, and of course my parents would undo it immediately after. I was like, "No, that's not for you. You can't have that." So, Dragon Child,
Yeah.
How does that moron do it?
Christy's here chiming in. Hello, Christy.
She won't join the party here.
Um,
Let me introduce Christy if she's going to come on. Okay. Christy reminds me of snow. She's cold, white, and all over my driveway in the morning.
Oh, Darin. Once again, the whitest white man in history, desperately searching for a personality.
I'm going to say something like that every week about Christy.
But also, he's also a Wisconsinite.
Yes.
What part of Wisconsin?
La Crosse.
No.
On the Mississippi River. Yeah.
Yeah. My best friend, her whole family's currently in Columbus, but yeah.
Now, you guys both do realize that the rest of the country isn't even sure if Wisconsin's actually a state. We don't know anything about it other than that 70s show.
Well, luckily we have a really easy way of, describing where everything is, and it's the mitten method.
Both Katie and I have also taken steps to eliminate the accent. Because
no. So when I moved back to California at the start of high school, the number of people who just made fun of me for little tiny things drove me so crazy. And my extended family, my whole life has always been still in California, with the exception of one crazy uncle that currently is in Oregon, but lived at the time in Hawaii.
Okay.
And so a bunch of them were like, "If you come back saying things like Pop, we're going to hurt you. Like, you're not allowed to come back to this state, for 2 weeks."
I have a dear friend that also lived in Hawaii for most of her life, and then she moved to Oregon or Washington. I don't remember which.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Are you like in paradise and you go, it's beautiful here year round. I want to go to a place that's just fucking miserable.
Well, that first snow, when he had to deal with it, was something like they managed to, the weather fairies gave him the worst winter that had happened in a while. And he's just like, "All right, take me back. I want to go home. I don't like it here."
That's kind of how I feel about where I'm at. Even though I'm just south of Atlanta, this is way north for me. I'm from the South Carolina coast, and yes, we have a winter down there, and it gets cold, but it doesn't stay that way for more than a few weeks, and then it's over.
Yeah. No, the thing with me is, as a kid growing up in Green Bay was great because I loved being able to interact with the seasons. But as an adult, it's more convenient to live in a place that doesn't have such extreme weather.
Right.
But I do miss it sometimes.
Yeah. Now,
sorry, I had to go for a moment because I had to get myself a pop. And,
but you could have just stopped at the bubbler.
I could have stopped at the bubbler, but they're all turned off right now. See,
that's fair.
This, by the way, is Doc Pop. I get Doc Pop. See,
that's fabulous.
5 grams of sugar in this mother. Yeah,
I disavow that beverage. Katie, Christy, our producer, is also in SoCal.
Nice.
So
I'm Northern California, to be fair.
Okay, she lives on a mountaintop made out of dirt, and a mountaintop made out of dust, because it's California. No, it looks quite lovely where she's at.
I decided to pop in.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm a lifetime Californian and mostly proud of it. I love this state.
Yeah, no, my
Very
family's from
Californian.
the Santa Cruz Valley, and so Watsonville used to be home of apples. Now it's mostly raspberries and strawberries, but my family's fighting to keep it apples still.
Northern
Okay.
California, that's wine country.
I mean, in Napa, and so
Central.
yeah,
Central
Central.
California. So I've just started planning my 50th birthday trip that I'm going to take with my daughter, and we're taking a motorcycle and sidecar up the coast, and it's
Lord.
going to be a brewery, winery, dispensary tour.
Nice.
Yeah, we're doing a very Californian
We're gonna
dork
we're gonna
thing.
have to go ahead and start looking for a new producer because she's gonna end up badly behind this. Motorcycle, beer, wine, and weed. That's not a combo
No
conducive.
highways. It's all going to be surface street.
That is not a combo conducive to you getting back in one piece, Christy.
I know.
So, Christy, real quick. So this page is insane, but I want to show you it because it calls to some of the most wonderful things in California.
Okay, let's get our host doing big, our producer doing Biginator.
So this scene is as part of my story that I had been looking forward to doing for many, many a year, and it takes place in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So this is in the Ben Lomond area on the San Lorenzo River. So peak redwood territory.
Right.
And in the winter, so like December 5th, I want to say, of 2020, I went out in sandals to stomp through the river to take pictures so that I could draw this background, and I was ever so happy that I did.
Nice. Okay,
Oh,
so
cool.
as Christy is pulling up your campaign, we're going to look at it here in just a minute. Give our viewers, Katie, the synopsis. Tell them what in the world is Dragon Child about.
Absolutely. So Dragon Child is a story in which mythical creatures are real. They all think we're scary. And so the dragons specifically pick one human to then represent all of these different creatures to all the humans, and that is their dragon child.
Hey, Doc, may I make a suggestion? And Katie, tell me if you can do this or not. If you
Yes.
can bring up your own campaign and share screen, I'd prefer that because I got to call my boss back. I'll put it on the screen.
You're fired, Christy.
Dude, I was pushing buttons at the beginning of the show. I wasn't hearing anything. And I'm like, time to bring Katie out.
She actually
Sorry, guys.
she does a better job of producing when she's at her paying job than she does when she's at home.
More alert
That's
for
fair.
some reason.
So we forgive her. But the ambassador to the Muggles is the Dragon Child.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
there is a particular, and if I'm misremembering, it's been years, Katie.
Oh, for sure.
But there's a particular dragon that befriends her and liaisons with her, hangs out with her more so than the others.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so
and that would be the little green one behind me.
Right. By the way, you guys, in case you don't know, Tanner Hurley, my co-host, he injured his neck, so he's not here today. But he bought one of Christie's dragons because he absolutely freaking loved them, and he's brought it out many times and showed it. They're durable, Katie. That thing has survived.
Oh yeah, no, I make them full on to be played with. The prototype of Ember there, the green one, she went to my best friend who's got 4 boys.
Yeah.
And it has been in that house for over a decade now and is still with us.
Yeah.
So, I count that as the best, child proofing that you possibly can have. Yeah, no, I make them to be durable for sure. Cause the people that make these art dolls, as they call them, where it's like, oh yeah, if you breathe on it funny, it's going to fall apart. Not interested in that. I want
agree.
that, can grow with the child and or adult who loves the heck out of it. And,
Katie,
keeps with them for many years.
20 years from now, when you're at a convention and someone walks up with their raggedy old Ember
Oh,
and
I'll be
says,
like, "Does she need repairs? I will help."
well, and they
Well,
show
but
you,
I
you
will
know,
be like,
this is my
truly, I will be
beloved
so touched.
childhood toy
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
got from you.
No, the one of the most memorable sales that I had of one of the big dragons was to a little girl who I still see at cons to this day. Her name's Simone, and she was a little bit of a con kid because her dad did shows with me,
Right.
and so she was walking around trying to figure out, what artist she could start up a conversation with because she was bored out of her mind. And, so she'd ask for sketches and various things. And so over the years, she just, was making friends with whichever model of Ember I happened to have at me, at my table
Oh.
at the time. And she'd been reading the comic up to that point, but, her dad was very much the frugal, we're not spending,
Yeah,
the
we're here
money
to
on
make
big,
money, not
big
spend
ticket
money.
item,
Yeah.
especially for a child who probably isn't going to treat it very well. So her aunt got involved and convinced her dad that if they went in halvesies, so she put in, her own money and then they covered the rest, that so long as she got it with an issue, then she would be allowed to have Ember with her that day. And
Oh.
so she, smiled big as you can possibly imagine, pleased as punch, and, tells me, "I'm gonna take her home. I'm gonna put her on the end of my bed, and I'm gonna read her stories every night." I mean,
Oh.
come on. It doesn't get better than that,
My
Doc. It was
my
so
my
precious.
frozen heart just melted a little bit.
Yeah, no, seriously, like, it's moments like that where I go, any amount of reservation that I could possibly have as to whether or not I'm doing the right thing, doing my own comic and making those crazy things, is completely just done away with because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
worth it.
Yep, that issue is settled. Do you have your campaign pulled up?
I can put it in.
And then hit share screen.
Yeah.
So our lovely producer can bring it up. And we'll take a look at this thing because listen, guys, you're going to see with your own eyes, but I have had the pleasure of watching this series develop. And this girl can draw and write. I'm just telling you, it's good stuff. Darin, take notes.
Well, she mentioned Jeff Smith as one of her influences, and I had one of those comic book shops that wasn't very good. If it wasn't DC, Marvel, or Image, they could only get it for you like a third of the time. But my first exposure to Jeff Smith was when he wrote issue 10 of Spawn. Now, Spawn wasn't a favorite comic book. It wasn't a favorite character of mine, but I liked Todd McFarlane's artwork, so I bought it. And yeah, issue 10 was when Jeff Smith was one of the guest writers that he brought in, and that was the best issue because it covered the most philosophical ground along with it was meta contextual, and things.
Jeff Smith is a very sharp cookie. I met him at Dragon Con back in the 90s when we were both younger fellows, and he was a very sharp, witty, talented guy, well worth meeting. Darin,
I don't know if I'm doing this right. I hit share screen and I have.
You're good. We're just waiting on Christy to get off her phone call so she can add you. Darin, I'm going to answer that question for Carrie. She's a born again child of the Most High God, so she's praying to the same God we pray to.
Okay.
Look at his beard wiggle.
Yeah, I fluffed it a bit. It's a little bit bigger. It's a little bit bigger than it usually is, right?
I don't know why things are moving around, but I get dizzy when she does that. It's like momentum. Oh.
That's probably why she does it.
She is a cruel and heartless woman sometimes. Kidding. We all
got to keep you on your toes. Let's be real.
Yes.
We all love
Harridan and a Termagant.
Katie, when did this start?
So depending on if we're talking the version that's published or, ideas that were similar to, I had a really lame version of what would become Dragon Child when I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
And it was a lot more similar to like Land Before Time-ish.
Okay.
In that they lived in this valley, left, found a bunch of humans, decided that wasn't worth their time and went back.
Okay.
And so I kept like changing the time frame of, when this was happening story wise. I was changing things such as who the main character was, that kind of thing.
Right, right.
And when I was in high school, sophomore year, we had a project in my English class where we were supposed to write a day in the life of a character,
Uh-huh.
and that became issue 2.
There you go. There you go. So fifth grade, that's what, 11 years old?
Yeah.
And you're easily 18 now.
Oh,
So
of course. Yeah. No, of course.
this has been going on for all right. So go ahead
Uh,
and play your trailer for us, and let's
Yeah.
get into this thing.
Hi, I'm Katie Shaw, the cartoonist behind Dragon Child, a story that has been living rent-free in my brain for most of my life. As soon as I knew that I wanted to start making comics, I've been trying to tell a version of this fantasy story with dragons and elves wanting to live alongside of us. In high school, I decided to turn it into a modern-day fantasy, which all these years later has become a lot more mainstream. After making my own comics for over a decade, I find myself questioning some of the choices that I made early on. As new issues came out, I knew that I wanted to start combining them into volumes, a true comic book. The standard is a 6-issue trade, but it takes a long time to get there, so I started collecting 3 issues together into what I called a mini volume. Half of the length of a standard volume of comics at a price point cheaper than the cost of all 3 comic issues together. Makes sense, right? Looking back, I made one major mistake. I released these books with covers that I had already used for one of the single issues, meaning that the mini volumes didn't stand out and commonly got confused with the issues that they shared a cover with. I'd get questions like, why is this book more expensive? It's the same as that one, right? And I'd have to answer that, in fact, no. This book has 3 issues in it instead of 1. And once they figured that out, then the books would sell fine. But when I finally did release my first full trade volume, that did have its own unique cover, it sold great. So I posed the question to myself, would my mini volumes sell better if they did also have unique covers? So I'm launching this Kickstarter campaign to find out. For this new Kickstarter campaign, consider updating your Dragon Child comic book collection with a brand new set of these 3 new mini volumes that have their brand new art, as well as some extra behind the scenes content. Nice. And also consider adding in a sticker, print, original pencil remark, original inked art, or one of my handmade dragons. You know you want one. Let's have some fun and get those 3 books to the printers together. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So just for those that don't know, we're up to issue 6 in the story, and this campaign is for the mini volumes.
Well, number 9.
That's what I said, 3. Number 9. I don't know why you argue with me about these things. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so we got the 3 different books here. That's my normal setup for the various cons.
I mean, wait, don't go past so fast.
My mouse is going way too fast. Sorry, guys.
I mean, when Katie goes to a con, you'll know she's there, Jack. Look at that setup.
Look at that. Wow.
Wow. Darin, you got to up your game, brother.
Hey, no, so that was why I started making the dragons, frankly, because when I was first getting started and all I have is, some print sketches in issue 1, I needed something to physically take up space.
Yeah.
And I asked myself, what would you want if you were looking at this table? And the answer was a huge ember.
Yes.
And so not having any real experience making something like that, I told myself, well, do that and it'll be okay. And yeah, so
Katie, you are self-taught both as
yes.
an artist and as a writer, and now as a, I guess, sculptor.
Yeah, no, so I go with seamstress, but realistically, plush maker, and puppet maker.
I don't care what you say. That's sculpting.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And look, I've seen these things in Katie's arms, and we'll bring it up on the screen here in a little while. They are nice and they're big, substantial.
Oh yeah, they're massive. So
yeah,
the big ones.
Toy.
Yeah, no, the big ones are from head to tail and wingtip to wingtip, 44 inches. Ember's tail is a little bit longer because she's based off my old iguana, and that made me just pleased as punch to keep making her tail a little bit longer each time. So she's realistically probably closer to 50 inches for her tail, and wingtips are still 44 to inches wide. But it was very much a design choice that, unlike every other dragon plush out there that has wimpy little pathetic wings like Elliot
Yeah.
from Pete's Dragon,
Yeah.
I wanted it to at least be the same as the head to tail length.
Nice.
And so that's what they are. And
Bring
there's
that
no
back up.
wires. It's all just stuffed very tightly. They each weigh about 5 pounds. And then the puppet. No, seriously, these, like, I tell people when they come to the table, and they're petting the dragons, I'm like, yeah, pick her up, see how much they actually weigh. And every single time they're like, how do you do this? And the answer is lots of polyfill, but
Christy,
and
go ahead and
very
bring that back
abused
up, please.
paintbrushes.
Say
that again.
I was telling Christy to bring your campaign back up. Carrie says your dragons are almost her height.
Yay!
Carrie is a
the
bite-sized fan.
The prototype that I was telling you about that went to my best friend and her 4 boys, they would ride it around like a horse.
Yeah.
And joust with their brothers and other stuffed animals and whatnot. And I'm just like, yep, that's what I want. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, while we're waiting for it, God, excuse me. My Zyrtec is not working this morning, and I have a morning bout of allergies every morning. Christy, let's bring that campaign back up, please.
Okay.
Let's you walk us through it, Katie.
Yeah. So this is an old picture that I made that was me when I had bangs, and Ember perched on my shoulder there. This was basically like, if I were to encapsulate the idea of what I want Dragon Child to be, it is hanging out with Ember and enjoying and having fun.
There you go.
So, and these are some of my customers from this year who either got one of the plushes or some of the comics. And usually, it tends to be a combination thereof, but you get a little situation where it's like this child who just, wants to bite people, including the camera, and here for it. But yeah, so these are the 3 books that are, being kickstarted. And so the reason I went with covers that were initially shared with the issues was that was something that Jeff Smith did. And I thought that was cool. That was normal. And, but coming up with these new covers, I was very happy with the results. It also gets, especially for the first mini volume, some fresh art to inevitably an older book.
Right.
And that's going to help it. But these are some preview pages from the volumes themselves. So this is from mini volume 1. And if you can notice, the first 5 pages have no text. And that was very much on purpose. So the idea there is, before you worry about can you read, it's can you read comics?
Right.
And, get into the world of what's going on before bothering with the rest of it. And so then this next section here is from the middle of the second mini volume. And so my elf character Chase is taking the main character Ryu into the Elven Kingdom, which is a little shabby, a little worse for wear. And but they are doing their best, and this cute little kid is just totally excited that the Dragon Child is here, and his mother is less than pleased. But,
this is so awesome.
And then this little section here from mini volume 3 is of my Griffin character Sandrake, who's technically one of the bad guys, but he's basically just not quite trusting the dragon's plan that creatures like himself will just be accepted by humanity. And so he's like, we need to have a safeguard here and keep ourselves and our family safe. And so he's trying to figure out stuff based on that. And you meet our main villain, who is this little fluffy white dragon whose name is Kai. And she's not so nice. But she is wee and small and fluffy.
I mean, I kind of agree with the Griffin. Why?
Oh, no. He's
Why in the world would you people want anything to do with humanity?
no, it's very much they're taking up a lot of space and we need to make it work. And the Griffin's like, that's not going to work, guys. We need a better plan than that. And so he's not wrong.
Yeah. Have you met humans?
Yeah, no. Are they a threat? Absolutely. Should that still be our plan? No.
Katie, who's your who influenced your art style?
So I'd say there's a few. So there's definitely, the Jeff Smith influence there. Like I was saying, Bill Pete's another huge influence. Like the just very, olden days of Disney style of drawing very much speaks to my heart. Don Bluth, I think I was saying before, so like Secret of Nim, that whole style of, I love to draw animals before I love drawing humans.
Right.
But when it came to humans, and this is where more the manga style comes into the comic itself, is when I was 14, I discovered Pokemon and Dragon Ball on the same day.
Okay.
And I discovered Piccolo and was completely obsessed and was like, that I can draw. So, my creatures tend to look a little bit more American, cartoony style. And then, the way that I draw people is very anime, but very much like the late 80s, 90s, very clean art style makes me happy.
There you go. All right, walk us through the tiers so
Yeah.
people can see what they can get.
Pull that down there. And then, so we have your PDF rewards, and then you have the mini volume 3 by itself. And the reason I'm doing that is mini volumes 1 and 2 have been released just with the old covers. And so for people who don't particularly excuse the sound from outside my window, there's a plane apparently.
No worries.
But so for people that just want to get the new volume, mini volume 3 by itself, but for, people who just want to have their books match perfectly, getting the 3 together might make more sense, but I don't want to cut people out.
Right.
So then we have single volume with a sticker, and it's, a whole gamut of stickers, but you get to pick one of the, I want to say 6 or so that are available.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the PDF version of Catching Up.
Oh, nice. All 3 for $30.
All 3 for 30, so I feel that's reasonable.
And that's, by the way, that's 9 issues.
Yes. Yeah, 9 issues of comic. It's all the extras and everything that you would get with the physical books, but
yeah, very
as
nice.
PDF. So for everybody who's not in the States, that's your best bet. Then we have the volume. So again, just single number 3 with a print. And that's in the little preview image there. It shows you, you can pick any of the 3 new covers as a print.
Okay.
And then one that I haven't had any biters yet, but I would love to do because it's fun, is volume with a remark. So if you want a little pencil sketch in your book by me, this is an example of one that I've done, and I think it's a great way to update your book, but, a little bit more expensive there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start getting into retailers. So
there you go.
For, I have 2 retail tiers. One is this one that's, just, again, mini volume 3, but then I have the other one that we'll get to that has 5 of each book for a total of 15 volumes to put on the shelf for $60. And so here's that normal catch up. Here's that second retailer I was telling you about. So $90 for that for 5 of each book.
Mm-hmm.
And then remark of the 3. So each book is going to have its own sketch in it as well.
Okay.
And then we have the Adopt a Puppet.
Yeah, there's, and these
so
things.
all 3 books, and you get a puppet. There's 12 to pick between.
Come on now. These things, by the way, when we come out of this, she's got some handy. We'll take a look at those. They are amazing.
Yeah, I want to say they're so I make them to fit my hand, and two of them, which are the dark blue one and the light brown one, are designed to be a bit bigger because they're my big boy puppets. And of course, because we can only plan so much, the blue one has probably gone to more little boys than I can count. And so even though it's the bigger puppet, they can still articulate just as well.
Yeah.
So, it's just a matter of, can your hand fit it? And
Right.
if it can, you're good to go.
There you go. There you go.
But, if you're a bigger guy, probably don't get the pink one. And then I have these two that are original art. So in mini volume 1, in between issues 1 and 2, because there's a bit of a time gap, I put in what are supposed to basically be photographs of my main character Ryu just being a kid. And I have this one here, which is her having a little tea party with her cat and stuffed animals, which as a little girl, very relatable. And then the other one is
look, I have daughters. I get that completely.
Yes. Is basically based off of a photo of me as a kid in an apple shirt. Because my mom's side of the family makes apple juice. And so it was a drink your apple a day shirt with a big red apple on it. And in the bushes behind it, what I put in one of the dragon characters just sort of, watching, but even though we got this big eye coming out, nobody notices, of course. Humans are dense. And then we have Ember here. So again, 3 books plus the big dragon.
Look at that.
And then 3 books plus the big purple dragon, Shandira. And I will say, as somebody whose favorite colors are green and purple, but green being the tippity top between the two,
right?
Everybody loves Shandira better than Ember, and it makes me sad.
What do you think? Is it the mane and the whiskers?
Oh, I think for kids, it's definitely the whiskers, but I think it's also the fact that she's got the fancy headgear between the frill on the back of her head and the 8 horns.
Yeah,
she's impressive looking. But Ember's my girl.
All right.
So.
Okay, we have reached that point in the show where we're going to take a little break to pay the bills and advertise for some of our friends. So, Christy, if you could roll that beautiful bean footage, we'll be right after these messages. We'll be right back.
Wait, you didn't have to sing that. You didn't have to. Here we go.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. Looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. But whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
See up!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big... real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
In a world where sequels and prequels and derivative slop rule the TV and movie landscape, one magazine dares to make fun of them all. One mag to roast them all. One mag to troll them. One mag to break their balls. And in the ratings, roll them.
Cut!
And we're back. Thanks for hanging out with us today here on the coffee shop. Hey, great cloudy day. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Carrie wants to know, was that you making that 911 call?
No, that wasn't me.
Or was that you running around that someone called 911 on?
I wish I was 6'9". I wish I was 6'9". I'm about half that, it seems like. So
We're talking with Katie Shaw this fine day about Dragon Child. Let's go ahead and bring that back up and finish going through these tiers. So look at what you can get, and then Katie, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to show a couple of the puppets and the
Yeah. So I think we're at the end actually of the tiers that you can still get. We have a couple here that have passed us. So we had the 2 early birds. And then that one with the apple shirt that I was telling you about got snatched up.
There you go.
But yeah, and then at the end here, everything's getting shipped in Gemini mailers. Keep everything nice and tidy. This was actually a little pile for when I was taking out a set to the post office. Hadn't packed up these two puppets yet. I want to say one's actually in the bottom one there.
Okay, all right.
And then a little thank you for being part of the whole process.
All right. So this is Dragon Child, available on Kickstarter right now.
Yep.
1 through 3, a modern fantasy comic. And it's just a great story, you guys, man. And this is a good time to jump in because you can catch up on all of it before Katie dives into the next. By the way, are you already working on the next issue?
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, I have the outline for the next 3 issues. I have the beginning of issue 10 written.
Okay.
And it's depending on timing for the rest of the campaign, I would like to get at least the written version of issue 10 completed and maybe get started on 11 and 12 as well, if I have time.
Nice. All right. So we'll get Christy, if you could drop the link in chat for the campaign, that would be groovy. In the meantime, let's bring her back up, and you guys have got to see her work. This master sculptor of these beautiful toys that if I were a young kid, I'd be losing my mind over. So let's.
So do you want to see one of the big girls first, or do you want to see a puppet?
Yeah, let's see the big girls first, and then we'll get
grab Chandira.
Look at this thing.
They are much bigger than they appear on a chair.
Look at that thing.
Yeah, and you're like an adult. So you
Pretty
can
girl.
imagine. Yeah.
She's got her little
Could you imagine your kid's face on Christmas morning if they got that thing? Holy smokes,
It's so
man.
cute.
They are adorable.
And for all the kiddos, best detail on the whole thing is you can stick your finger through their schnoz.
Prizes sold separately.
Katie, would you pick my nose for me?
Nose prizes sold separately.
Exactly.
It's
And they
beautiful.
got little tongues.
I mean, golly, look at
And
the detail.
scarf not included, but
Oh, that's
no.
beautiful.
When I ship them out, I tend to tie bows around their necks.
There you go. Look at that thing, man. Come on now.
So she's a big girl, and yeah,
Unwieldy.
got her tail.
I mean, that's bigger than my dog. Okay, and I
No,
have a
they're
big
big.
dog.
When I say they are 44 inches, I mean it.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's get a look at Ember.
Poppets are gonna fall. This is Ember. She's the best. So she's got her fun little spots.
Okay, all right.
And then she's got her big long tail.
Start to finish, how long does it take to make one of those, Katie?
Oh, a week.
A week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
a workshop.
Listen, guys, this is craftsmanship here. Okay, don't sleep on this. This is, if you're a parent and you got a kid or a grandkid, you better jump on one of these.
And this is the recommended way to go around with it, right over your shoulder. But yeah, these things are 5 pounds of joy, and yeah, they're my babies.
Now, if I was at the con and I bought one of those, I'm gonna have to leave it on your table till I get ready to go. I'm not.
Oh no, that's definitely been a thing. But there's also been when people inevitably are walking around, you get other people coming by and they're like, "I just saw somebody walking around with such and such dragon." So they do their job whether they're at my table or not.
Yeah, 5 pounds. Think about a 5 pound bag of sugar. You're going to tote that thing around all day through a con? No, you would put it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Another
heavy.
way that works well as well is right under the belly.
There you go.
Carry it like that.
Well, those are absolutely beautiful.
But yeah, I judge each of them on how cute their faces are.
Well, yeah. Now, have you ever been making one and it just looked like a transporter beam failure?
Well, I wouldn't say so. The one that I was the most worried about was the technically the second one that I'd ever made of Shindaira, but the first one that was available for sale, because the first one was reserved by my mother's best friend.
Okay.
Had really raggedy whiskers. Because the things you have to use tweezers to turn them right side out.
Right.
And they were not playing nice. And so they came out just looking terrible. And that Shindaira sold within the first 20 minutes of her being on the floor.
And there you go.
So I apparently didn't have to worry about that. And I got no complaints from the customers. So we're good. But luckily, that has never been the case since, as far as looking that nasty. And, little details like how perfect the points on the ears come out, or in the case of, I have one puppet that's a pink puppet with a heart on her head, and that's not applique, it's sewn in, just like the little spots on Ember. And so some of them come out a little bit more perfect than others.
Yeah.
And same deal. Nobody cares if it's a little bit more rounded than the next one. They're just like, look at my beautiful pink and red dragon.
Nice. All right, let's look at some of these puppets because they are amazing too.
So these are the two big boys. So we got Byron and Diamond Flare.
So when it's story time with your kids, you put this on and have it read the story.
Do that.
Oh, yeah. I love puppets.
I do too. How awesome is that? Look at that thing, man.
Oh, here, let me ambigonate that.
That could be telling the kids their bedtime stories. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, I love it. I love it.
And then this is the one that I was telling you about that the little boys love. So he's got his big spikes and he's got little rhino ears.
Nice. Very cool.
He's precious.
Very cool.
So they all have, unique eyes. They all have their own, with the exception of a couple of them kind of have the basic ear, but most of them have different ear designs. So, and for the puppets, on the back of their ear tag is their names. So,
attention to detail is the mark of a good craftsman. Just saying. Oh my gosh! One of these days, Katie, I'm going to commission you to do my golem from the book. But he doesn't have a mouth, so he'd just be a stuffed animal.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I'm going to commission you to do a Doc Blaylock.
Oh no! I hate you so
round
much.
head.
I hate you so much, Christy. Oh my gosh, Billy Power Max in the house. What's up, brother? Hey, Katie, tell people where they can find you.
So, Dragonchild Comic on most socials, dragonchild.net for my website. And in the case of Twitter, because Dragonchild Comic was too long, it's Dragonchild KS.
There you go. There you go. Live on Kickstarter right now is your ideal opportunity to catch up on the story thus far.
Absolutely. You got 12 days.
Yeah, and pick up one of these freaking amazing plush sculptures. I'm not going to call them toys. They're sculptures that can be played with, which is the best kind of sculptures.
Yes.
Yes.
That is just amazing. Katie, thank you so much. We are not going to be able to do meme review today. We don't have enough time left in the show. So the Savage memes will be doubled next week.
Woohoo!
I've saved you all.
Yeah, you did.
She's seen the show before.
Yes. Ouch.
You know I love you, Doc. It's fine.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we'll send it around the room here. Darin has a sign up going on right now for Demifoot. Where can they find that, Darin?
You know what? Let me go ahead and bring that up.
Look, he's all prepared and shit.
All prepared and shit. Yeah. All right. So
good job there, Sailor. Way to be on top of things.
Yep. I am sharing that with you now.
There we go.
Okay, so if you guys want to sign up for this, it's on Fund My Comic. You just go right here where it says in blue, join mailing list, and that'll take you to another website where you just put in your email address and it'll go into my bank. So I'll make sure that you're notified. Start date, I'm probably going to give it another month or so at least to gather up SIGs. If you did subscribe to the Indiegogo version of the campaign from earlier this year, I'll be including those in, so you don't have to feel the need to sign up if you've already signed up for the Indiegogo version of the campaign. But yeah, we've got a lot of lovely tiers here with a lot of options for you. And yeah, go ahead and peruse that. The artist is John Dillard. He and I have been hard at work at this, and we hope to bring it to you next year. So
fantastic.
Demifoot is the story of a man turned into a monster.
So is some of it in black and white and some of it's in color, or are those pages just unfinished at this point?
Those black and white images are unfinished. Those are yeah. The comic book is in color.
Those are just sneak peeks.
Yeah,
these are just sneak peeks of various panels and things that will also be included in that comic. So yes, if you like movies like RoboCop, and also comics like Swamp Thing and the Incredible Hulk, you will enjoy this.
A man turned into a monster, but he doesn't have the heart of a monster. He has the heart of a hero.
Yes.
Wait, did I just write a pitch?
You did.
Yeah. The actual pitch is part man, part cryptid, all hero. So Doc, you got it right.
Okay. All right. That's why I get the big money.
Yeah. We also have a digital tier this time around. So if you're in Europe and you want to read it, but you don't necessarily want to fiddle with paying for shipping and such, you can get a digital tier, DRM-free version that will be
fantastic
available as well. Yes.
All right.
Right.
Christy, what do you got going on?
Oh, wait, let me take this down. Well, let's see, besides me producing, like being a stellar producer for this show and multitasking like a monster, every Wednesday morning, I do my own show every Thursday night. It's called Creative Chaos. Every week, we interview a different creative person making stuff outside the mainstream. And of course, Flip City is still funding our very first special edition, 5 years in the making. It is the parodies only special edition on Fund My Comic. We've currently got 23 backers. I know we could double that in the next 30 days.
Hell yeah.
And you'll find parodies of things like The Walking Dead and Stranger Things, ratings of The Rings of
Ratings of
Power.
horror.
I love that title, Lord of the Ratings of Horror.
I like the Stranger Earthlings.
Yes, Strange Earthling. That one took a while to come up with. We're like, what are we gonna name that? But it
I mean,
works.
that's brilliant.
Yeah. And we've got the Star Trek retard because he's quite slow. Jerks of Joke Island, and it goes on and on and on and on. It's 80 full color pages of Flip City's best parodies made over the last 4 years. You can find that at fundmycomic.com/FlipCity27. And tune in to Creative Chaos tomorrow night to find out if I get a guest on.
Now,
I still have to book a guest.
by the way, if you grew up with Mad Magazine or Cracked and you miss it, well, there's Flip City. If you take Mad Magazine and you turn it up to 11, you get Flip City. It is legitimately the only thing I have read, sit and read, that made me laugh out loud in the 21st century.
Aw. Oh, and also coming soon, I think probably in the new year, will be like a full-on animated short of our Jerks of Joke Island, in which Doc plays a voice. It is coming out phenomenally.
I did 2 voices. Thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't realize. Scott's the one that's doing the animation, so he has to listen to your voice over and over.
Now, I'm so sorry for that, Scott. I apologize. Nobody wants to hear that. And I'm your host, Doc Blaylock. You can find my novella, A Damn Dirty Thing, anywhere books are sold. My publisher is Edgeweaver Books, and they have got me out on, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Google Reads. I forget, but it has reached the point where all you got to do is type in A Damn Dirty Thing and all those places will pop up. And I hope you would pick up a copy and enjoy it. The comic book is still for sale over on Fund My Comic, and it's spiffy, if I do say so myself. Art and story by yours truly, and special guest host Ozzy. Hello, Ozzy. Now my co-host is outside frolicking because the weather's nice.
It's storming tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah. California storm.
Yeah, that means it's going to sprinkle for like 5 minutes.
Well, I am mountain.
Batten down the hatches, boys. Here it comes. Okay, it's over. We survived. Hello, Ozzy.
Such a cute pupper.
He is. He got a big old head on him, too.
Mm-hmm. Like a shepherd should.
All right, so that's going to do it for us this week. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and hanging out with us. We love you. We appreciate you. Christy, did we ever get a pilled raid?
Oh, dude, I've been so distracted today, and I want to apologize to Katie for not being 100% present. But no, I didn't. I did not. I haven't even checked in on Pilled. Anybody that happened to tune in today over on Pilled, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Doc, make your own damn Pilled account and check on the chat and talk.
I don't need. Listen, asking me to make anything on the interwebs is a lost cause. I suck at it. All right, so that's going to do it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Katie Shaw, thank you for coming out as a guest. Always welcome here.
We love it every time I'm here, so no complaints.
Darin, thanks for being here today. Christy, thank you for producing. Chat, thank you for being here. Peace out.
Oh, yeah. We have to end the show now. Okay, see you guys next week as soon as I find the thing that we played the show out on.
That's why I pay her the
And
big money.
And you said I was unprepared.
Gotcha, bitch.
Dang, where is it?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dude, I am so sorry. Like, you said that I produce better when I'm at my paying job.
I
but
lied.
don't think
I lied.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there's this one.
I think the dog distracts you.
This may be the best part of the show, guys. Hang with us. We're having us.
Oh, here it is. Okay, bye. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm tired of talking to you.
And don't think it hasn't been a little slice of heaven, because it hasn't.
Well, what do you know? I finally got the last word.
Good night, everybody.
Quitting time! Quitting time!